the recording process was just, I'm just starting to get a sound and some sort of loop, some sort of arpeggio, some sort of layer, and reacting to it, and like taking a step back and listening to it and being like, oh, what do I want to put on top of that? And it's really just more of a cathartic thing. I was just trying to document for myself, the process of it. It's very inspired by this book I read by David Lynch, where he was talking about his process for making movies or shooting a scene where he like kind of starts something in motion and then reacts against it, and that idea has always been in the back of my head since I read that book. So as this started to evolve and become a thing in my mind, I was just like, oh yeah, I like this process of just this kernel, and just sometimes that kernel happens and sometimes it doesn't. I got enamored with the gear. A lot of this stuff is used in dance music and electronic music, but it was like I was just using it for the exact opposite. But I'd be like listening and being on these forums of these hip hop guys and whatnot, and techno music, because the gear was so fascinating to me, and it did all these weird things with sound that slow it down and beat matching, which I can like really contort into a way that just makes it sound really like crazy and whatnot. So I really, from loopers, it got me into samplers, and samplers got me into like really just manipulating a sound to it. It's like even taking a kernel, a small single waveform of a sound, and manipulating that, or using that as a basis of the whole synthesizer and whatnot. So it's the device itself became a big part of the inspiration. Be like, oh yeah, I like the way this happens, I like the way it looks, I like the way this keyboard feels. I'm gonna be able to make some sound on this that it's gonna be appealing. Every time I add like a major device or take one away, it's time to record for a new like set of songs, and it kind of just like evolves. So the recordings will evolve with the workflow, with the equipment, and the devices very much drive that I've connected with the device, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is inspired to me. Like I need to set up the routing here. It's gonna go into this looper. It's gonna go into these delays. It's gonna come back around. And then at that point, I can manipulate it this way and sample it with this machine. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. And you try it out, and no, that didn't work out. It's just technically confusing. I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. Let's just try it a whole different way and unplug everything. We were talking about earlier before the cameras were rolling, but inspiration isn't really hitting. What do? There's always devices to something that's not worked out routing-wise to reroute or to plug in, or some device you're not using anymore to be removed. So it's just constantly evolving, constantly.